We're talking about Detroit Lions top 5 breakout players for the 2023 NFL season. In this video, I'm going to talk why I have these guys selected at for breakout players, and we're going to have fun with it because right now, as you know, again, we're in the lull period between after the draft and before the NFL training camps begin, and so it gives us something else to talk about. But before we get into today's video, if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions and you like to hear it from a fan perspective like myself or a former player in Herman Moore, you'd like to subscribe to this channel because that's all we do in here is talk Lions. We get different perspectives and we have a fun time at doing so. Let's just go ahead and get into my 5 breakout players without even an intro in this one. We're just going to go straight into this boy. My first one here is Jared Goff. I do think he's going to be a breakout player for the Detroit Lions. With all the weapons that this man has, he has to be breaking out, right? Like, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St Brown, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Jameson Williams when he does come back. A top 3 offensive line, in my opinion. A great tight end group in Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, and James Mitchell. He has gotten everything in his disposal to have an outstanding 2023 NFL season. He went to the Pro Bowl last year. He will be going to the Pro Bowl this year, in my opinion. Unless, the NFL media want us to screw just because his name is Jared Goff. But as we look at, I think he's going to have some big-time numbers here, and he's going to be a great player. He barely turned the football over last year. I think he's going to be good with his touchdown to turnover ratio this year. Again, probably high 20s, maybe low 30s in touchdowns, and maybe less than 10 in interceptions. He's good with the football. He doesn't throw it in bad positions to where it gets intercepted quite a bit. And all he has to do right now in 2023 is just put the football in the hands of his playmakers. I mean, when Jared Goff throws it to Amon-Ra St Brown, Amon-Ra St Brown takes it up the field. You do a play action to Jameson Williams, big time play. Jahmyr Gibbs, that's all he's got to do, and he can just sit in the pocket and pick teams apart. Jared Goff, to me, is going to have a breakout campaign this year. And it's going to be really good for the Lions offense as we win the NFC North and we try to win a couple playoff games. Jared Goff is going to help us with that. And I'm real excited to see what he does this year. I think he's going to do really good for the Lions. And I don't know exactly what the future is going to be regarding Jared Goff, contract extension or not. But all I can just tell you is I have a great feeling he's going to have a hell of a good year in 2023. My next breakout player here is Jahmyr Gibbs, the Lions rookie 12th overall pick. You say, Mike, it's a rookie. They don't have that big of an impact. It's a little bit different when you're Jahmyr Gibbs because he's a multiple facet type of player. He can be used all over the offense as a wide receiver in the slot, as a running back. He can be a player that is used everywhere on multiple different schemes as well, like a Deebo Samuel. He's got the speed of a real Jaguar, not a team Jaguar. This guy is just a breakout player, and I think that Jared Goff's going to give him the football quite a bit. I think Ben Johnson is going to scheme for him in many different games and use him all over the field for the Lions offense, and he does have that breakaway capability. So if he gets in the open field, it's over. He's going to make a big-time play. That's amazing for our football team and for our offense. And again, like we just talked about, Ben Johnson is just the master right now of scheme. And you give Ben Johnson a caliber player of Jahmyr Gibbs, look out for the Lions offense. Absolutely look out because he is a master of the offense. And I would not be shocked if he was pounding the table to get a Jahmyr Gibbs, for the Lions. I know Brad Holmes wanted Jahmyr. I know that Dan Campbell, a lot of people, but you can guarantee Ben Johnson was just foaming at the mouth in a good way to get this guy. He was drooling to get a player like him on this football team. So I think he's going to have a breakout year. Let me know in the comment section, who do you think has a breakout year? It's maybe a player that I didn't even put on this list, and there's a lot of players you can put on this list, by the way. I just did top 5, but let me know your breakout player. Next player I think is going to have a breakout campaign is Lions running back David Montgomery. My God, I think this guy is underrated on the Lions football team. Talking about it on the podcast yesterday, and a subscriber brought it up that a lot of people sleeping on David Montgomery, and he's right. They shouldn't be sleeping on. David Montgomery was a big boost to the Lions' run game. I think he's better than Jamaal Williams, and Jamaal Williams had a masterful breakout campaign last year with the amount of touchdowns and over 1,000 yards. I think David Montgomery, from a football perspective and in a running back game, is better than Jamaal Williams. This guy is going to be going against, remember, he was with the Chicago Bears offensive line that was butt cheeks. It's been butt cheeks over there. Now he's going to a Lions offensive line that's top 3 in the NFL. He's going to have big-ass holes he's going to be able to run through, and he is hard to tackle. Absolutely difficult to tackle. He is a leader of men as well, and he's going to put in the work to get that done. David Montgomery is going to get his. I know we got Jahmyr Gibbs as well as a running back, but when it comes to David Montgomery, they're going to give him a lot of touches in the running back position. He's going to get goal line stands. He's going to get it everywhere. You look what Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell did last year with Jamaal Williams. Expect that, and Jamaal Williams did a fantastic job. I cannot wait, absolutely wait to see David Montgomery pounding teams in the face, because he is a Dan Campbell type of guy, a guy that's going to be a physical runner and north and south. He's not going to go all sideways or anything like that. He's just going to punch you in the mouth. Let me do a reference of T.J. Duckett when he was a Detroit Lion many, many years ago. I love T.J. Duckett. He was a north and south physical runner. David Montgomery is a younger version of him when he was in Detroit. I think this is a great signing, and I cannot wait to see him on Sundays run the football. My next player is a breakout candidate. Forget the name here. I must have screwed up the name. But this is C.J. Gardner Johnson. I think he is going to have a breakout campaign with the Detroit Lions. The Lions defense, major upgrade, right? They got a big boost when it comes to the draft and free agency. And when it comes to C.J. Gardner Johnson, he's going to have an opportunity to roam this defense and get a lot of interceptions. Last year, he got 6. And he's rolling with players around him that are damn good. Kirby Joseph, he's good. Tracy Walker, he's good. You got Cameron Sutton, he's good. Emmanuel Mosley, he's good. Jerry Jacobs, he's good. The linebacking core is better, and the defensive line is better. So it's going to give an opportunity to C.J. Gardner Johnson to really hand out some big plays and give the football back to the Lions offense. It's going to be really good to see him make some big-time plays, because we need those turnovers. He is a trash talker. We need that. We need a physical guy. He is just that. And I think with the upgrades that we did on this team, Aaron Glenn is going to use him in many, many different ways. He'll play as safety. He'll play at slot, cornerback, going against the slot receivers. And he's going to be giving a great opportunity to make some big-time plays, and I think he's going to do it. It's going to be really good to see. I think he does have a breakout campaign, and he's going to earn a big paycheck next year, whether it be with the Detroit Lions or another football team. That's why he took that one-year deal. He's banking on himself, and I cannot argue with him banking on himself, because I think he can do it. I think he definitely can. My last of top 5 player breakouts for 2023 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown sometimes feels like he gets pushed away because we got all these other weapons like Jahmyr Gibbs or, the Jameson Williams, but make no mistake about it, Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best weapons on the Lions football team. Year in and year out, he continues to be a phenomenal wide receiver, catching nearly everything and turning up the field and making a big play from a small pass. Now that you have a Jahmyr Gibbs, now that you have a Jameson Williams when he does come back in Week 6, and you have a Marvin Jones and all the other weapons. He's just going to continue to break out as he has done. He was a Pro Bowl last year. He's going to be in the Pro Bowl this year. This guy is just a solid player that is always on the field and always makes the catch. And Jared Goff absolutely loves throwing to Amon-Ra St. Brown's way. So he's going to continue to do that this season. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I guess he's not considered like a number one wide receiver, right? You think of like a DK Metcalf, these big guys who are, they're the number one wide receiver. When you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4th-round pick, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's our number one wide receiver. He's getting the most yards, and Jared Goff throws his way. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. He just does everything. Hell, he can even run the football if you want to do a jet sweep with him. He just does everything, and I think this year he breaks out for the Detroit Lions, has another monster campaign, big-time yards, over 1,000 yards receiving, a good amount of touchdowns like always, and he continues to show why he was one of the biggest steals in the draft 2 years ago in the 4th round. And he will end up getting a big payday with the Detroit Lions. Make no mistake about it. He will get a big payday, and I can't wait to pay him. Why? Because he deserves to get paid. He's a great guy, great influence on this locker room, a great leader, and a great player that puts in the work. So those are my top 5 Detroit Lion breakout players of 2023. Let me know your thoughts on my breakout players and put in your own players in the comment section. Let me hear who you guys have for the Detroit Lions. Could it be somebody else? Maybe Jameson Williams. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. We drop videos every single day on Lions Nation Unite. Get ready for that. That's why you want to hit that notification bell. It's why you want to subscribe to the channel. It's why that you want to be on here when something breaks. We're live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and having a fun time doing so. With that said, folks, adios.